Good morning to all. Welcome to our virtual classroom. In the previous day, we went through the first stanza of lines written in early spring. Don't you remember? Did you read that? Can you enjoy the poem? Yes. The reason for poets' happiness and sadness. We described about that. We discussed about the rhyming words too. Did you remember? Rhyming words. Have you found out all the rhyming words? Let us take more details about rhyming words. A rhyme is a repetition of similar words or sounds in two or more words. Especially the rhyming words comes in the end of a line. Always rhyming words comes in the end of a line. In the previous class, we find out the rhyme scheme of the first stanza. What is a rhyme scheme? Do you remember that? How do we find out that rhyme scheme? Which is a rhyme scheme? A, B, A, B. The first and third lines rhyme together and the second and fourth lines rhyme together. Then let us analyze the second stanza. You can read it in your textbook. To her fair work did nature ling, the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. That is the second stanza. Once more, I will read. To her fair work did nature ling, the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Please go through the second stanza. What does the nature do? What does the nature do? Yes, you got the answer. The nature has linked the human soul to her fair works. Pick out the expression which tells us about the feelings of the poet. Which is the word that expresses the feeling of the poet? Yes, grieved. I grieved. What is grieved means? We grieved at the death of the soldiers. We grieved at the death of the soldiers. So what is the grieve means? What feeling does the poet here? Sadness. The poet feels sad. What makes him sad? The poet feels sad when he thinks about what man has done to his fellow beings, or what the man has done to the other man. Absolutely, when he thinks about the things man has done to his fellow beings, felt the poet sad. To her fair works did nature ling, the human soul that through me ran. Look at the first two lines. To her fair works did the nature ling, the human soul that through me ran. What did the second line convey? What did the second line convey? Indeed, Wordsworth tries to say that man is a part of nature. In fact, man is one with nature. Man is one with nature. Man and nature is one, not separate things. Man is one with nature. The poet tries to tell man should understand that he is part of nature and want to be happy. Just like the nature, man must be happy, always must be happy. This is one of Wordsworth's principal philosophy. This was Wordsworth's philosophy. Then he always believed that the man is a part of nature. He must be one with nature. Then only he gets the contentment. What is contentment means? Tripti, Santripti. He always believed that man is a part of nature. He must be one with nature. Then only he gets the contentment. Does the man realize that man was a part of nature? Did he realize that? Wordsworth says, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Yes, man's cruelty. Man's cruelty to nature is exposed here. Always man do cruelty to nature. Man actually destroys the harmony of nature as well as his fellow beings. How? With his greed and selfishness. With his greed and selfishness, man destroys the harmony of nature. There is a harmony in nature between this man and natural things, the things in nature. But because of the greed, this man destroys that harmony. Here, we have to give some background information of this time. At the time of writing this poem, when does the poem is writing? During the French Revolution in 1798. At that time, don't you study about French Revolution in your social science? French Revolution and the reign of terror after that war. Reign of terror. After that war, there is a reign of terror. And a cultural shock. It was a cultural shock to many people, including Wordsworth. That terror, reign of terror, is a cultural shock to this Wordsworth and all the other people there. The atrocities of French people. French Revolution and the reign of terror after that was a cultural shock for many people, including Wordsworth. Many people were killed or guillotined. Guillotined means guillotined. That might be one of the reasons why he penned these lines. Penned these lines. What is the meaning? Happened to write these lines with his pen. Penned these lines. The cruelties of, the heartlessness of the French people might be reason for creation of these two lines. And much it grieved my heart to think what man has done of man. During this war, French Revolution, what man has done to the other man, they killed each other. That is why he was very sad. Whenever we think about the man's cruelty, we can only feel sad. Look at the line, what man has done of man. What man has done of man. What is the peculiarity of that line? It sounds rhythmically. It sounds rhythmically and how? Musically. The musical sound in that line. What man has done of man. Sorry, man has made of man. Then, next line. rhythmical, for this rhythmical words. Have you need more examples? Do you need more examples? Don't you hear about tongue twisters? Tongue twister. She sells seashells on the seashore. Just like that. Huh? Then she sells seashells on the seashore. Here, z sound is is. This sound is repeating the. Then next, go and gather the green leaves on the grass. Go and gather the green leaves on the grass. Here, g is repeated. Then the boy buzzed around a busy as a bee. Busy as a bee. Boy buzzed around as busy as a bee. Here, b. B is repeated. Then, please put away your paints and practice the piano. Please put away your paints and practice the piano. Here, p is repeated. I hope you notice the pattern. Interesting, isn't it? Look at some examples. When I see bridges bent, some boys been swimming them. Look at some examples. First one for you. When I see bridges bend from left and right, I like to think some boys been swimming then. Then the fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow flowed free. Some musical, isn't it? Let us read the lines from Coleridge's Ancient Mariner. You can see some rhythm here. So, we're looking towards alliteration, the use of the same sound, especially consonants, at the beginning of the several words that are close together. Then alliteration. Don't you study this alliteration in the previous class? 8th and 9th. We have already studied that. Then these poetic devices are used by poets to give rhyming effect or some poetic effect to the poem. Now, let us move to the third stanza. Look into your textbook and read. The birds around me hoped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. Once more I will read. The birds around me hoped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. Let us analyze. What are the things the poet see around him? What are the things? The birds, the flowers, all the things in the nature. He can see all the things in the nature. He sees flowers, birds, and many other things. Sitting in that bower. What is bower means? Bower. Sitting in that bower. ആ തണലിൽ ഇരുന്ന് ആ തോട്ടത്തില് grow എന്ന് പറയുന്നുണ്ട് മുന്നേ. It is a grove. He was sitting in a grove reclined, in a reclined manner. Leisurely he was sitting in an easy chair and was What he was doing? He was looking around the nature and try to analyze each sight he's seen. Then, sitting in that bower, he was seeing all the things around him. Now, here is a word web. Fill it and write. What did the poet say about each flower? Don't you see that word web in your textbook? Look that word web and fill that. Fill it and write. What did the poet say about each flower? He says that every flower is quite happy to be in nature. To be in nature. ഈ ഭൂമിയിൽ പിറന്നതിന് എല്ലാ പൂവുകൾക്കും സന്തോഷമാണ്. Every flower is quite happy to be in nature. Why does he feel like that? Why does he feel like that? He felt that every flower enjoys its existence. Why he feels so? We can see in nature when there is a wonderful breeze. What can you see when there is a wonderful breeze? Mandamarudan. What can we see? These flowers are moving. Flowers and leaves are moving gently and happily. Seeing that, we realize that these trees are very happy or plants are very happy because of that moment. Breeze. Gently and they move gently and happily. So the poet says like this. Why does the poet use the words like trailed for periwinkle? Periwinkle. The poet tries to create an idea of living, breathing, living and breathing world. That is why he said so. Nature is a living mechanism, and the poet tries to underline these ideas using these words. So, in this stanza, all living things, how can we realize that? All living things enjoy the nature very well. Probably the poet hopes that every person can enjoy their life like a flower. They can enjoy their life like a flower. If he comes close to nature, if we come close to nature, we can enjoy our life. And now let us look at the lines. And it's my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. You listen to your textbook. And it's my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. We feel a living, breathing organism in front of us, don't we? We can feel that by the movement of that thing or the breathing of the animal or plant or birds. They can breathe. By that, by seeing that, we realize they are living. The flame of the candles, don't you see the flame of candles? How did the flame work? The flame of the candles danced in the darkness. We always lit the candle in the darkness, isn't it? Then, if we watch that candle, we realize that the flame was dancing. Is it really dancing? No. But the poet's Describe the candlelight like that. The candlelight is dancing in the darkness. Can the flames can dance? Then another sentence, the car's headlight wing at me. The car's headlight wing at me. Can the car's light wing at you? No. And the wildfire ran through the forest at an amazing speed. Can the fire run? No. The fire cannot run. The flame cannot dance. The car's headlight cannot wing. Only living beings can run, dance, and wing. Here, human qualities are given to non-human things. Do you remember? What is that? Giving human qualities to non-living things. Previous class, we have already studied that on also. Personification. Giving human qualities to non-living things is called personification. The camera smiles at me. Here I give a human quality to camera. Can a camera smiles at me? No. I have given the human quality of smiling to this camera. And I use which one? Personification here. Giving the human quality of smiling to this camera. So, could you pick out an instance of personification from the stanza? What is personified here? Yes, the flower. Flower is a non-living thing. Not like the human. They have no human qualities, but the poet give human qualities to it. The flower personified here, and Wordsworth shows flower as a human being, giving human qualities to this flower. Then let us stop here the class. Then you have to write the question answers from the lesson. You have to find out. And the next class, I will finish this poem. Then it is time to say goodbye to you. Thank you.